Trump Border Czar Tom Homan was on CNN, and Kaitlan Collins tried to trap him over this deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia to El Salvador. And Homan absolutely crushed her with the true facts about this situation, as you're about to see. This comes on the heels of Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen traveling to El Salvador to visit, really get a photo op with Garcia, who, according to documents released by the Department of Homeland Security, was an MS-13 gang member who also beat his wife, according to court documents. Setting this Homan versus Kaitlan Collins clip up, Scott Jennings completely cooks on CNN over how innovative the American left is at fighting for literally the worst people on earth. Let's get started. I'm Zach Costello.
The party of women is really covering itself in glory tonight. I mean, I don't understand why the American left falls in love with the worst people. You've got a gang-banging, human trafficking, wife-beating illegal alien, and a United States senator in a ludicrous display of energy is in El Salvador having Mai Tais and Yahtzee. I do not get it. I do not understand why the left takes on the heroes. People like that. I don't get it. He has an adjudicated deportation order, and you have Democrat public officials falling all over themselves trying to get him back here without thinking through the next step, which is he's literally going to be deported somewhere else.
But he did have due process. Everything we know about him is documented because he did go through the court systems. He was stopped for trafficking. His wife did file these domestic violence charges against him. He was arrested with MS-13 members with a roll of cash that had the eyes and the ears and the mouths of the presidents erased, which is an MS-13 markings. This is all non-disputed.
Average American looking at this case, a lot of conflicting information. Okay, I believe some, I don't believe. An illegal alien came here in 2011, and somehow in 2025, he's still here after having been through the court system, after having been arrested with lots of people in his car, after having all this evidence.
Why didn't Donald Trump deport him?
He just did, and now everybody's mad about it.
Why didn't Donald Trump deport him? He just did. And now everybody is all up in arms about it. This is a complete debunking of the lies and false narrative being spewed by the left right now. He had due process, even though he was an illegal alien in this country. He was arrested, and he had an adjudicated deportation order. Kaitlan Collins takes a different angle on this. She twists it a little bit to try and trap Border Czar Tom Homan, and he has none of it. Watch this.
I've seen some people look at this and say they're worried that the stance of this administration when it comes to this is that if someone is deported by accident, that they have no responsibility for them once they are in the custody of a foreign government. What would you say to that?
Well, they're in the custody of El Salvador. He's an El Salvadoran national. He was born in El Salvador. El Salvador has him in custody, and El Salvador decide what happened to him. I mean, again, the El Salvadoran president made it clear he's not going to release him. So again, I'm going to go back. The DOJ, they can fight this out in the courts. I'm not a part of that. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a prosecutor. So we'll let the courts, decide what the next steps will be.
Even though it was a U.S. immigration judge who said the one place he can't go is El Salvador. I mean, he could have been deported literally anywhere else.
Again, we can keep going back and back, but again, that was years ago. Country conditions were different. That gang no longer exists in El Salvador. He had been designated a terrorist since that time. 2 different federal judges said he's an MS-13 member. A police department said he's an MS-13 member. ICE data shows he's an MS-13 member. El Salvador says he's an MS-13 member. As you know, MS-13 has been designated terrorist. The case has the facts of the case have changed since that first decision. So again, I'll leave it up to the DOJ to argue that case in court, but that is where I stand, and that's my belief.
Again and finally, the American left is really good at taking the 20% side of 80-20 issues that are important to the American people. They fight for men and women's sports. They fight to stop fighting waste, fraud, and abuse within the American government, and they fight to bring back illegal alien MS-13 gang member terrorist wife beaters because there was an administrative error in how the deportation process was handled. And you know why? Why they can't see and decide clearly? The hinge point issue on this is abortion. If you support and advocate for abortion, this grave sin and atrocity has an effect on your intellect and your conscience and ability to see and interpret reality effectively. It causes a distortion, and this is why they are collapsing. As Jesus said, to give him a shout out here on this Good Friday, a house divided amongst itself cannot stand, and that's what we're seeing. I'm Zach Costello.